Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval Green here and welcome to yet another video. In this one we'll talk about the news about the patch 4.3.1 that will be released on Tuesday. The Sorry event first of all is going to be extended until Sunday to kind of compensate for the downtime in the maintenance in case anybody misses pips. So that's fine, I guess. And now we're going to get into what the patch does. This patch will address the artifact attack damage bug, beta club dot damage. Okay, let's stop here and let's discuss those. Beta club is broken and not working. A lot of people believed it was nerfed, and it's getting now fixed, and that's great. That's great news. It took you long enough to fix those, considering a lot of people paid a lot of money to get it. But at the very least, it gets fixed. If it's fixed properly and if it will be back to how it used to be, that indeed remains to be seen, and some attack damage on artifact bugs, like some people complaining about old blades not stacking properly or not giving enough attack damage, that might as well be fixed with this update, and that might be what they're referring to. They're not hinting directly to that, but most likely. I personally haven't encountered much damage decrease with old blades, but other people have, so at the very least they're looking into that. And then we're going to get into the next thing, an unbalanced damage bug that occurs when Raven and KOAM are going to be teamed up. This fix does not affect those heroes directly, it only affects the percentage damage from King's special tree. So, first of all, they didn't mention anything about the damage cap. So, what most of us believed it will get nerfed is the fact that Raven plus not necessarily King, but any single character in the game, granted there's enough damage and there's the right situation, can in some scenarios bypass the damage cap of some heroes. Some heroes are capped, for example in league rates in tier 8, you can't deal more than 3 million damage per instance of damage. And Raven had a bug that allows you to bypass that, and there's nothing said about that thing that that most of us believed will get looked at. Now we got something about the King special tree. So, the King special tree is going to be buffed by, or used to be, will not be any longer after this update. The King percentage damage special tree would be buffed by Raven. So with 5 stacks of Raven passive, you would, instead of dealing 10% health damage to the enemy with that, you deal like 90% health damage or some crazy amount like that. And that's what they're going to be looking into. Yet again, there are some people that claimed that they're going to be nerf King. Not really. They specify that they're not going to nerf the characters in particular, but their team up. So, how do we go about this thing? First of all, yes, the special tree damage paired up with Raven on King is broken. And it shouldn't have existed in the first place. But that's the problem. You should have tested this shit before putting it into the game. Like, if you remember, Raven was for 2 or 3 days only pay to get. There were no chests or anything like that. It was only pay to get Raven for 3 days. A lot of people bought her. They saw the interaction with King. More people bought her. And there's a lot of people that bought Raven before there was actually the chance to get Raven as a free-to-play player. And considering this, you should have made goddamn sure that there were no bugs involving this, because now simply the people who bought Raven no longer have what they paid for in the first place. I'm not particularly too mad about this, and I mean, it's fine. That thing was broken in the first place, but that shouldn't have made it into the game, because that incentivized people to buy Raven, and that's messed up. That's really messed up. So in the future, please do test your goddamn characters before using them. Like, who came up with the idea of boosting other effects into the game, other damage effects, and didn't cross their small, narrow minds to test it with King, which is the most used damage during the game. Yet again, they don't say anything about the damage cap. There's a chance they will fix this, and they're not even mentioning this in this post, so it doesn't look too bad. But if that's not the case, then it will only be King dealing less damage with Raven, not dealing those crazy amounts on special tree, though he will still deal a crazy amount overall, because the boost is crazy high. But we'll get rid, sadly, of that percentage damage on the special tree. Yeah, she will still be, most likely, if they only fix the special tree with King interaction, and nothing more, she will still be the best character in the game. Still. But again, this does not make this acceptable for the people who actually went out of their way and bought her. Because all those people should be entitled to a refund. Which you might be or you might not be, depends. Some people are able to refund stuff from the Play Store and still keep the stuff in the game, by the way, but don't do that, don't do that. I mean, don't do that on my advice, do that on your own risk, because I'm not sure if you can or cannot get banned for doing that. But yeah, all the people who bought Raven, since you clearly changed a feature that was making Raven very powerful, should be entitled a refund, first of all, which they're not gonna give. And yeah, some people, when shit like this comes up, people are like, oh, let's sue them. You can't do that. You sadly accepted something in the terms and agreements at the start when signing into the game, which does not allow you to do that. There's some clause that denies you that, if you were wondering. But yeah, Raven will still be most likely the best character in the game. As it says here, she will still deal crazy amounts of damage with all the other characters that she would previously deal a crazy amount of damage with, like Silver Banshee, like the League of Anarchy team. Both of them, actually. And even if the cap bypass gets fixed, I'd go as far as to say that even if she's no longer able to allow those teams through her damage buff to bypass the damage cap, but the base values on them will not change. She'll still be broken. Like it will no longer work very well with Silver Banshee team, but it'll go extremely well with League of Anarchy team still, and with a lot of other teams, with Black Manta most likely. But yeah, yet again. So, conclusion of this video. If she gets nerfed as far as they're saying in this post, still broken, still the best character in the game. If she gets nerfed past this point and they also fix the damage cap not working, most likely still the best character in the game. But that does not justify in any way, shape, or form the fact that they released and sold a character that they were going to further nerf. I don't care if this was a bug. I don't give the slightest crap if this was a bug and this was not intended. If you didn't intend it, you wouldn't have put it into the game, because you should have tested it and found out this happens. I'm not a guy that goes into conspiracy theories going like, oh, they did like this so that people think she's broken and buy her and then they nerf her. I don't like to believe stuff like that, and that's most likely not the case. It's something even worse. They are that dumb that they don't properly test their characters before releasing them, which is indeed sad. But yeah, with all being said, this was it for this video. At the very least, the beta club gets fixed. At the very least, we got that. All that being said, hope you enjoyed this video at the very least, if not the Raven. Bro, if anybody out there enjoys the Raven nerf, I don't know what's on your mind, my dude, but yeah, with all that being said, I'll hopefully see you on the next one. Goodbye!